Hey everybody, what's going on? Making a quick video. I wanted to go over something in regards to an experience that a carrier that I work with just experienced, and it's a great learning lesson for me to coach you up and teach you something that he just did to assist you if this ever happens to you, which inevitably it will. So what do you do? What do you do when your truck gets damaged at a shipper and it's the shipper's fault or it's the receiver's fault? It's not your fault that your truck got damaged, but that shipper or receiver, they have created damage to your truck. Happens all the time. Forklift goes into a truck, punches a hole inside of the wall, and repairs need to be made. It's not due to the fault of the owner operator. It's not due to the fault of the driver. It's due to the fault of the warehouse, the shipper or the receiver, loading or unloading and causing damage. So I wanted to go through a scenario with you that has happened with a carrier that I work with. Rockstar Carrier, he's been in the business for 2 years now, maybe 2.5. 25 years old, 26-foot box truck, and he's killing it. I'd say he's probably $17,000 to $18,000 a month on his monthly income, working with me with factoring and working with my dispatch company. So let's get into it real fast. So what we have here is a picture. Picture is worth 1,000 words. It's the switch on the lift gate for it to go up and then for it to go down. And what happened is the carrier arrived on site for pickup at a shipper. And unfortunately, as you can see right here, the forklift, I guess it was pivoting and moving, and it damaged the switch. As you can see on the plastic piece up and down, the top of the switch and the bottom of the switch, it just hit it, and it caused it to short out. It is a switch. Switch could be $50. Switch could be $200. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, they had to stop loading the truck with the carrier's lift gate, and they had to use the forklift to load and unload the truck, and there wasn't a loading dock, as you can see, at this shipper. So damage has been done to the truck, not to the fault of the driver. So in this situation, what's the best way to have this taken care of so it doesn't come out of the pocket of the carrier? Well, does the carrier need to be reimbursed for the repair via the warehouse and the shipper? Maybe it's Dollar General, or is it the warehouse and the warehouse facility and the foreman takes care of it? Or is it the broker and the warehouse or the shipper, Dollar General, pays the broker and the broker pays the carrier and they update the Raycon? It can be a variety of those options. This can go like 5 different ways, and all of those are viable options. So what's most important when these kind of situations happen is documentation. Taking pictures. Pictures worth 1,000 words. So let's take the pictures and let's communicate written, because you need your paper trail, which I've told you guys about over and over and over again. You need a paper trail. So let's compile it and put it together. So the carrier called me, told me what happened from A, B, C, D, etc. He told me what happened. I drafted up the email. I'm going to show it to you now so you can see how I chose to communicate with the broker in a professional format, explaining the situation, providing documentation and pictures so the broker can be properly informed of what is taking place. And at the same time too, when the carrier gets to the receiver location, if the lift gate's broken, there needs to be a forklift on site at the receiver. There might not be. So maybe it would be pertinent to get this fixed before getting to the receiver, because there might not be a forklift on site at the receiver to get it off because the lift gate doesn't work. So there are some mechanical things that need to come into place here in terms of order of operations while in transit. That is a very valid thought process. Hey, wait, well, if the lift gate doesn't work anymore and they're loading it with a forklift at the shipper, well, what if they don't have a forklift at the receiver and my lift gate doesn't work because the shipper broke it? Well, this could cause a delay. I could get to the receiver and they don't have a forklift to unload it, and then I have to drive over to Home Depot or Ace Hardware or whatever and buy a switch and install it. Maybe the guy's not very handy and he needs an electrician to do it. I don't know. So what we do know is we need to document this. So let me read very chunkily to to you the email that I drafted. So I'm just going to read it out loud. Hey, broker's name. I just wanted to provide you with a status update. I am still getting loaded at the shipper. However, the shipper has damaged my truck. See pictures attached. The forklift, while loading the freight, crushed the liftgate switch. This damage has now made the liftgate inoperable due to the shipper and their loading operation and crushing the switch. The shipper is going to have an electrician come and see if he can make repairs to get it working again. If not, due to this damage caused by the shipper, I will need to get this fixed before I deliver your load and need to be compensated for this damage caused by your shipper. I will keep you updated with the repair efforts, but I wanted to keep you informed with every step of the process while working with you. Servicing your customer is your top priority, and me providing you with the best service I can is my top priority. And that starts with communication. I will keep you posted as this proceeds, and I wanted to inform you and provide you with documentation. Please see pictures attached. Thank you. So again, I think that's the most appropriate way. Situation happens. Let's write a polite, professional email. We're going to provide pictures and paint the picture for the broker, because the broker's just sitting there calling, trying to sell other loads to other carriers in the marketplace. And you have experienced this issue. And again, if you get to that receiver and the switch isn't fixed, how are we going to get it off? They might not have a forklift to get it off. And then you have to go somewhere else, get it installed, or do it yourself, spend your own money, and who's reimbursing you? And an electrician's going to come on site and fix it. So anyway, long story short, this can go a different way. The broker can be like, hey, sorry about that. How much does it cost? Provide me with a copy of the receipt. If you go over to Ace Hardware and buy yourself a switch and you yourself take it off, put it on, was it $150? Okay, great. I'll update your Raycon. I'll compensate you on that with a new line item on the Raycon. And at the same time, too, on the bill of lading at the shipper, he needs to get this notated. So when he's submitting it to the factoring company, me, we can see, there was damage to his switch, not to the product, but to the switch on the liftgate. And that is going to be reflected on an updated Raycon with compensation of $150 for the cost of the repair. And it is what it is, and it's done because we're processing that Raycon. The money's being added onto the Raycon. It's not a transport of freight. It's an accessorial, miscellaneous add-on. We can do that, not a problem as a factoring company, easy. Or is it the warehouse just writing the guy a check and handing it to him saying, hey, we can't fix this. You need to go to Ace Hardware, pick it up, install it yourself while you're going from Kentucky to North Carolina. You do it, get it done before you get to the receiver in 2 days. Here's a check for $150, and they just write it off, and it's done that way. Or is it the carrier does it and he has it on writing on a separate, totally different piece of paper that's not a BOL, that's not a Raycon, and Dollar General, they get a letter from the foreman before he leaves and says, we will compensate you with a check in the mail for $150. The carrier has to go to Ace Hardware, get the switch, install it, do the delivery, and then 2 weeks later get a check in the mail from Dollar General for $150. Yes, it can go a variety of different ways, but what we want at the end of the day is for it not to come out of your pocket. And if you got to the receiver and your equipment doesn't work, it's documented as to why it doesn't work, not due to your fault, due to somebody else's fault, and it's being documented. So if you're not able to get it off the truck and they say, well, he got on site and his switch doesn't work, this carrier brought us a broken truck, it's like, whoa, it wasn't broken when I picked this thing up. Let me explain and show you and document and create a paper trail and take pictures and explain. So anyway, long story short, that's how I would write a very professionally formatted email explaining, like I said right there, servicing your customer is your top priority, and me providing you with the best service I can is my top priority as a carrier to a broker. You don't want to be, on the do not use list with anybody. I think this was C.H. Robinson, huge, big dog broker. Yeah, you don't want to get on their do not use list. write your email, take your pictures, be calm, cool, professional, and explain yourself. Have it documented. And again, before leaving the shipper, have your BOL signed of the damage. So it can go a variety of different ways. And it all goes back to documentation. I don't want to make this too much longer. So a long story short, what do you do when your truck gets damaged at a shipper or a receiver? This would be a proper protocol for you to follow. Wanted to let you know real quick, I got a new insurance partner. Would love to get you guys connected with him if you're a brand new carrier and you're going to be getting into the marketplace. We got Ray here, contact telephone in the top left-hand corner. Go to my website, myfreightnetwork.com, all of your networking contacts that you need for anything in the freight game. Everybody's on my website that you want to play with. But Ray, he does down payment assistance for insurance, potentially case by case, potentially up to $1,500 to help you out to save some money on that down payment so you can get on the road and get going. Vehicle repair financing, I do that up to 100% of the cost of the repair. So if your transmission blew, radiator blew, something happens and you need $5,000 to get the truck repaired, I can provide that finance instantly with my factoring, get your truck back on the road and get you back earning. But anyway, check out my website, good stuff. Catch you guys in the next video. Have a great weekend. Bye.